Hi, I'm Teresa Collins. I often get asked, how did I start scrapbooking? How did it begin for me? And to be honest, it was kind of a sad part of my life. I was not a scrapbooker, but my mom passed away and she died at the age of 53 of a brain aneurysm. And it actually really shook my world. And one of the first thing I did after I got home from North Carolina was I went to a scrapbook store. I was PTA president of my elementary school that year, and I walked into a scrapbook store to get stickers of all things, and I knew the owner really well, and she said to me, she said, Teresa, you need to document your mother's life. I said, I don't scrapbook. I don't even know what that means. And she said, you really need to do this. And it was one of those things, it changed my life because I realized that I needed to start documenting and telling the story. The scrapbook store owner, her name was Jessica. She really influenced me and inspired me. It's because of her that I'm who I am and what I do today. She gave me an album. She had done this album and opened the scrapbook store because her brother Seth had died unexpectedly at the age of 21 of an accident. He was at home and he was killed instantly by a basketball realm that fell on his head. And because of that, she had done this album and she gave it to me. And she asked me to take it home that night and to read it. I remember I went to my bedroom that night and I was in bed and I was looking at this album, and on every page was A to Z of Seth's life. I started crying. My husband looked over at me. He goes, what is wrong with you? And I felt like I knew Seth. I remembered that he played basketball and all the little things that her family wanted to remember of Seth. And I mourned for his loss, and it woke me up and it made me think, I need to do this for my mother's life. So I started taking classes and I instantly knew that I was hooked. And so part of that, the first thing I ever did, the first project I ever designed was a book for my mom, and it was an A to Z book. And how I did that and how I want to show you how to make your own book is this. What I suggest is that you take a paper. And you'll see here, this was really simple. I actually just used alphabets and I did A through Z. The reason why I did this is because I knew that it's important that you give this sheet of paper to people around you. And you go, tell me what you think of about, maybe you're doing an album for your grandmother. Let's say you're doing that and you say, tell me the things that remind you of grandma. And then if you have like aunts and uncles, sisters, brothers, anyone who knows your grandmother, and they would put all the things that reminded them of that person. My sister and I were the only ones, I only have one sister, and so I did the same thing with my sister Shelley, and I asked her to do that. So we listed all the things that we could think of that reminded us of my mom. Now, my sister remembered things I didn't remember, so I think it's really important. The more people you have involved, it really helps. And so I want to show you what I've done with a book. Now, what you're going to do, if you want to create something similar to mine, this is the Your Story binding book. It's hardcover, and if you look on the inside, it has the glue in here. That's why you can use your Story machine to bind it once you're all done to actually create your own book at home. I love this. I'm a big fan of this. So this was the base of my album. So what I did is I have this collection, and it was inspired because I really feel like it's important that we note our life, that we document it, and it's called notations. You can see here, this is my alphabet sheet. It's 12 by 12, and each of these alphabets are die cut so that they just come right out. I've done the work for you. You just pop those out, and you'll notice I have A through Z on one sheet of paper. And all of the little things in my book, you're going to see right here. So I've got the alphabet, and all the tags and everything that you see in my A to Z book is from my collection notations. Another thing that you're going to need is just regular white cardstock. Very simple, because this is some of your page bases. You can see the paper designs here. I just have lots, and the great thing about this is it's a neutral palette, so you can really tell your story and add the colors that you like. So now let me show you the book. So what we have here is I just wanted to really make it really me, and I've done my flowers and everything that I want to represent. I thought it was time I told my story. How often do you scrapbook yourself? I'll do my children, my husband, baseball, but often I'm the one neglected in the story. And I thought, who better to tell what I love and what I'm passionate about than myself? So in this book, it's very personal to me. As you open it up, you'll notice I haven't bound mine yet, but I'm going to after I'm all done. But my album, A through Z, for each page, for A, I've documented and I've handwritten all the things that are important to me. One of the things I encourage people to do is to put your own handwriting in your projects. It's so important. Only you can personalize and put those things in these albums, and your families will love this. I like to do little boxes, and I like to take words and I'll frame them and I'll underline them, and I literally will use regular Crayola markers to color them in. One of my favorite things that I used in my project were these are erasable color pencils. They are perfect for you to use and to color in. Again, I use the color green because I'm on a green kick right now, but maybe you have a different color. And so as you go through your album, you'll notice for each of my pages, this is an A, and then on the back page is B. And you'll go through your entire book. Now, here's the thing about this. You'll notice that you can put photos in here, and I have. I actually started putting photos in mine last night because I'm still putting some of my favorite photos. And one of the things I find when you're doing an A to Z book, your photos are going to mean something to you that other people wouldn't realize it. For this, for E, I thought, you know, I actually thought of this photo here for everyday moments. I have a picture of my son and daughter doing a birthday cake. To me, those are the things I want to remember. And I just journaled about the different things that I love and who I am. For example, on my D page, you know, I talked about what I dreamed about when I was a little girl and the things that, you know, I love dances and, you know, that I'm not very daring and things that I want to remember. I talked about my favorite things. And so it's really important to put your heart in there and the things that you want people to remember most about you. As I go through my album here, you can see that on each of these pages, I've put the things that I really love. I talk about that I'm a girly girl. I know that's hard to believe, Teresa Collins with bling, but I really am. I love those things. And I think about the things I want people to remember me about. And I think that's what, when you're doing your own A to Z album, put your heart in it and the truth. And sometimes we all have struggles, and I like to put those things in my project as well. And maybe photos like this. I can't tell you how many times I've taught a class and someone's thrown away pictures because it wasn't perfect or they didn't look good or it was blurry. Guess what? This picture's blurry. This was when my grandson Maxon was born. I can't go back and retake that photo, but I am so glad I have that photo. And I journaled in it. And I know that one day my kids and my family are going to truly appreciate that I've taken the time to really put my voice and my heart into who I am. And so this is just a little bit showing you a little bit of what I've done with my life, and I suggest and I hope that you'll take the challenge for me to make your own A to Z book, to tell your story the way that you do it as only you can say it.